Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Fayabase Fridays. It is a special edition because today coincides with the World Mental Health Day. Ever since the year 1992, October 10 became the Global World Mental Health Day as a day when awareness is raised on mental health, education is promoted around mental health, stigma against mental health is fought, and a lot of work is being put together to sensitize people and help them to enjoy better mental health. And this work was championed by the World Federation for Mental Health with support from the World Health Organization. And so it turns out that, as we normally do at Firebase Group, we realize that this year's edition of the World Mental Health Day coincides with our Firebase Friday program. And so today is particularly special to us. My name is Daniel Ogunjimi. I am one of the speakers who will be speaking on the theme for this year's edition of the World Mental Health Day. And I'm not going to be doing it alone. I have someone here who is passionate about people enjoying better mental well-being, enjoying better spiritual well-being, enjoying relational health, enjoying, basically a well-balanced life. He is here with me, and I'm particularly delighted to introduce you to Kumayo Kumasi. Hello, sir. Can you say some introductory words to our audience?
I greet you all specially. I want to believe happy World Mental Health Day. It shall be well with you. Amen.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, this year's theme of for the World Mental Health Day focuses on the urgent need to ensure mental health support is available, accessible, and prioritized during crises such as natural disasters, armed conflicts, as we see happening all around the world, in the Middle East, in Europe, and in several other micro spaces around the world. During pandemics, as we experienced in 2020 with the COVID-19, virus, and several other emergencies that may not be exactly global, but may have tremendous impact on the quality of life that people are able to live. So this year, the theme is access to services, mental health in catastrophes and emergencies. The same way we tend to deliver first aid to a person who is injured, it has come to the awareness of the World Federation for Mental Health and the World Health Organization that it is equally important that we are able to deliver first aid when it comes to the mental health care of people, especially when there has been a disaster, whether at the personal level or at the group level. That group level may be, within a community, it may be within a country, it may be across the world, as the case may be. So the World Federation for Mental Health then thought that it would be nice this year to actually look into this and look at, okay, what are the services that are available and in what ways can we help people who are struggling with their mental health as a result of something that has happened to them. How can we help them and connect them and signpost them to where they can get help? How can we intervene when someone close to us, someone that uh, exists or lives within our circle, is experiencing or expressing mental health symptoms, what can we do before that person is connected to a professional? That's essentially what this year's theme is about. And it falls under the bigger umbrella of trying to promote awareness and sensitize people on the need for them to recognize the impact that mental health has on our overall well-being, on how even the mind has more power over us, so that what happens within our minds eventually affects the body and causes us to even express some physical symptoms because we are not really enjoying a good mental well-being. So I want to push it to uh, Mr. Kumasi and ask, in your own view, what is a mental health catastrophe or emergency? How would you define a mental health catastrophe or emergency?
Thank you very much. The word catastrophe is also indicate that something is terrible. In literature, it's a figure of speech, but in this sense, it's an incident. So a mental health emergency or catastrophe is a critical situation, and indeed where individual poses an immediate risk to self or others. That could be as a result of emotional or psychological distress. In such situation, it could be a suicide thought or an attempt. It could be panic attack, it could be psychotic breaks, it could be severe trauma responses after disaster or violence. It could also be substance abuse escalation during crisis. So all these form a base for mental health catastrophe or emergency.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir, for expanding it in that way.
Thank you,
Uh,
sir.
if we begin to think more locally, we realize that a person undergoing academic stress, for example, could actually fall into a mental health emergency.
Of course.
Um, when students study for exams and write the exams, and the results come out, and it is a far cry from what you expected, and these things keep piling up, carryover keeps piling up upon carryover. Or somebody has been writing UTME, for example, and they are not able to, gain admission even after passing, the exams, as the case may be. For some people, it is unemployment. They've gone to school. They said education is the key to success and have graduated from school, and they are either underemployed, unemployed, and doing jobs where the take-home pay is not even able to take them home. Sometimes it could trigger, uh, you know, a mental health emergency. These days, we also have the issue of social media pressure, where a lot of people are, under pressure on social media, either
Exactly.
because of what they are seeing other people doing, what they see their colleagues doing that they are not achieving, and in more recent times, we've seen people engaging in certain challenges online that ended up,
Taking
plunging
their
them,
life.
yeah, into death sometimes. So these are, you know, the issues, the emergencies, the catastrophes that we sometimes have to deal with. At times, it's even husband-wife relationship where one has failed to hold up their end of the deal, or where somebody is just creating undue stress for the other. These things can lead to, emergency situations as far as mental health is concerned. Some people can experience total psychosis sometimes as a result of this. So I just want to go straight and ask you directly that in the event that these things happen around us, these things things we notice happening all around the world. It doesn't matter whether you are from Africa or Europe, wherever you are in the world, we
mm,
realize that these are the crises that we experience. Now, are there services available, really? And if yes, where are they to help people who are experiencing mental health crisis to get the help that they need? If I were to be sick, for example, the people in my life know what to do, where to take me. If somebody is epileptic and they start having a fit, a lot of people are trained in first aid to put the person in a recovery position and
yes,
then help them until
mm,
professional help arrives.
yes.
So I'm just wondering what services are available to people who are struggling with their mental health, assuming that I stumble on someone now who I can see is going through a mental health crisis. Where are the
Mm,
services? What is the state of
thank.
things as it is today?
All right. Well, this is a global issue, but let's start from let me start from home. The first thing is that there are services available, but it's just like one person is attending to 200,000 persons.
I read one statistic that said that less than 300 psychiatrists are
Mm.
supplying over 200 million people in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. So my observation is real
Yes.
in the sense that even the person that is trained is not careful, he will become mentally disturbed by the people he's attending to. Now, apart from even people who are trained in school in this field, some of them are not encouraged to practice because to be a mental health practitioner, it does not end in classroom. It is practical. Well, we have offline once in a while people come, but because like in Ogun State, we have a psychiatric hospital. You know, before I came to Abeokuta, anytime they say they are going to Aro, we believe that the person is Yaweri, the person is lunatic. It was recently I discovered that in that place, we have behavioral therapist, we
Hmm.
have speech coach. Not everybody that enters there is lunatic. It's not everybody. So a lot of things, but the picture we have. So like that one, if you go there, they will attend to you. Even though it requires some little money, you have to pay, and there will be a continuous visiting depending on the situation. So we have offline, we have hospitals, psychiatric unit. Well, I have seen one organization counseling community, they talk about it. Well, we have faith-based NGOs, mental health programs. We have crisis intervention hotline, but I don't know how hot the line could be. I know we have psychologists. I am one. We have psychiatrists. We have social workers. We have pastors. And unfortunately, that pastoral counselors, it has been so abused that you go for help
Hmm.
and you end up become a victim of the help you are looking for. People, some religious system is they will flog you. Uh, in 1999, I was in a place where they brought a woman in. The woman was stressed. So, and he has a migraine headache, something like that. So they said he is possessed. They flog her, the spirit not come out. So while they were sleeping in the night, the woman sneaked out and escaped. So they were looking for her. So they come to wake me. Ah, come on, this woman has, hey, we are in trouble, oh, this and this. We took bike in that night around 12. So we saw the woman. Yeah, he's going back to where he was taken from, very far away. She has checked. I was not wondering if this woman is a mad person, he will not realize. But when he slept and woke up, he's aware of the vibe. So pastoral counselor are available, but some of them they are not doing well at all. One of the services that are available is what we are doing tonight.
Mhm.
Yes, what we are doing tonight will be on social media, will be on YouTube, and people can access it. They can reach out to my brother there. They can reach out to me. Then we have mental health chatbots. People don't make use of it. We have support group on social media. Some of them are liars. They will just put that in there as if it's real. Before you know, they begin to say, okay, come and visit our office. They molest young girls and so on and so forth. And honestly, mental health issue is not old people issue now. It's a young people issue.
Yeah.
So we have some e-learning and mental health awareness platform like Firebase that is hosting this program tonight. So we have very infinitesimal available activities or microcosm, very small, my brother. So the one that could have done well, the pastoral aspect, they will do deliverance, beat the person, even sometimes they will say the evil spirit, they want to put something in their private part so that the thing can, you see, all those nonsense has made people to see mental health as spiritual things. It's not spiritual. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for expanding this in this way and talking about some of the services that are available and the services that have been abused so far. Part of the goal of having a World Mental Health Day like this is to also recruit more people in the fight against the stigma attached to mental health. The idea of flogging the madness out of a person is something that we should not allow to stand in our community at all, because so many people have been manhandled, and they have been subject to demeaning experiences simply because they had mental health issues. Things that we would not do to someone who is experiencing physical ill health is being done to people who are experiencing mental illness, as the case may be. Um, Beyond, like it's been said, there are offline services, there are online services. While I was preparing for this session, I encountered some hotlines that I heard are available in Nigeria in particular. One of it is by She Writes Woman. I don't know how many of us know about She Writes Woman. This lady, J4, wow, J4, so is her name, who was a victim of sexual violence and uh, eventually got to the point where she was able to uh, begin to find wellness from talking and writing about her experience. She went on to become a global ambassador, so to speak, for mental health. And I'm aware there is a toll-free line. I don't know if it is still active. The last I checked, I was told it's active, that if you're in Nigeria and you need mental health support, you can call that line. It's toll free. It is 0800 800 2000. The website is shewriteswoman.org. I'm told it is a 24/7 toll-free helpline where you get free teletherapy and they also focus on mental health advocacy, as the case may be. Um, of course, Mr. Kumasi has talked about what we do at Firebase Group. We basically use technology to address mental health issues. So we also offer certain services. If you check out firebase.com, you will be able to reach us. You will be able to gain access to some of the services that we render in a way, as a way of promoting mental health awareness and also helping people to find a safe space where they can talk about the mental health issues they are experiencing without the attached stigma to it. Another one I stumbled on is Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative, MANI. Some of us may know about this. You can check out mentallyaware.org. They are arguably Nigeria's largest youth-led mental health organization, offering crisis support and awareness. There is also the Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative. Nigerian Suicide Prevention Initiative. They also provide suicide prevention hotlines, counseling, and mental health education. And the last but not least that I found that's available in Nigeria, because I can tell that most of our audience members are in Nigeria, is the Lagos State Distress Helpline. They've got a distress helpline as well that can be found on lagosmind.org, where they offer mental health support and referrals within Lagos. These are some helplines and support organizations that are available and accessible if anyone is needing help with their mental health or knows somebody who might need help with their mental health. Please let us help one another. Now, this conversation is going to take a slightly different dimension now, where we are going beyond just the existing services, as the case may be, to seeing how we can provide these services. How, even though we are not, you may not be a mental health professional, you can be that first point of contact who will then signpost someone who is struggling with their mental health to the right resources. So tonight is also about recruiting more people into this world where we normalize mental health and we understand what it is about, and we provide support to one another to prevent mental health crisis, to respond meaningfully as a sort of first aid when there is mental health crisis or when someone around us is experiencing mental health crisis, and also to ensure that they do not end up with the kind of people who will want to flog madness out of them, but they end up with licensed professionals who know their onions, who will be able to help them uh, deal with the mental health situation that they are experiencing. So I want to bring uh, Kumasi on board again, where we'll be talking about what we can do in a mental health emergency, what you and I can do, and how you and I can spot a mental health emergency. Let's say somebody wants to opt out of life and we are able to spot it, or rather, how can we spot in our circle somebody who is tending towards opting out of life? Because that is a classic emergency. How do we prevent suicide uh, as people living normal lives in our community when we spot someone who is at the verge of losing it all, who is at the verge of giving up? What strategies can we put in place? For one, I know that there is the Safe Talk program that has been put together using the acronym TALK as a sort of way to prevent suicide. TALK is an acronym that stands for Tell, Ask, Listen, and Keep Safe. Tell, ask, listen, and keep safe. Tell is talking about your ability to recognize the tells, recognize the signs that someone might be having suicidal thoughts or suicide ideation. All right. There are certain things you will begin to notice. Ask is talking about having the courage to ask them directly, to just push the question to them. Are you thinking of taking your own life? To summon that courage to ask that question, you don't know how much that can have impact on a person who is actually on the verge of ending it all. Listen is talking about listening to their story without judgment and showing that you care. The ability to, I like this slogan a lot. We listen, we don't judge. It's critical and it is important that we learn to listen without judging, without saying, how did you also get into this kind of situation? As it is today. That what were you looking at? That this thing became like this. You understand? So we just have that tendency as humans to immediately evaluate a situation and pass judgment or to give a response when all we just need to do is listen and be able to empathize and sympathize with that person, showing that we care. And the last one, keep safe, is talking about the need for us to connect them to resources and ensure they stay safe by involving trained help or crisis services that are available. But you need to know these services before you can refer people there. Like it was stated earlier, there was a time we used to think whenever the town called Harrow was just a mental institution and there was nothing else there. And we thought that even within the mental institution, only people who had gone psychotic could go there, not knowing that normal people like you and I could actually check ourselves into those kinds of places and get help that we need when we need them. So I'm pushing it to you, Mr. Kumasi, to tell us more on this, on the things that everyday people like us can do to be able to respond in a mental health emergency and to be able to even spot what a mental health emergency may look like.
All right, thank you. Well, the in the training we were taught stay calm, stay calm,
Hmm,
stay calm, and ensure safety first. Indeed, when we look at case of emergency, mental health emergency, it's a mental health emergency. It's not fire emergency. Mental health,
hmm,
the faculty, the engine room that controls human affair is being tampered with, is being disturbed. So the operational mind of that person is not okay. So for you to relate with such person, you have to stay calm. You don't drag with somebody who is mentally disturbed. So the first thing, the immediate thing one could do is to stay calm and ensure safety. Then listen with empathy. Please don't argue with somebody who is in that state, because your argument will provoke him or her and it can injure you. Sure, it can kill you.
hmm,
So when you listen with empathy, do you know that some situation the person is already consider you as a threat by seeing you?
hmm.
Your response to that person will now make the person to change the thought. Don't argue. So don't argue, minimize whatever you want to do. It's not something you'll be asking story. So you know, no. It's just very short, very brief that will calm the person down. But you must calm down. It's like a story that was told. A woman was coming to the river, a well, our well, Konga. So unfortunately, he saw a small baby at the edge of Konga. The baby is looking inside the Konga, inside the well. And the woman from far distance started laughing, smiling, small, small. The baby was now looking at the woman. The woman was laughing, using style, until the woman was able to get to the baby and carry the baby. But the same situation happened, and the other one, as he saw the baby, hey! As he shout like this, the baby, fear, just jump into the water. The question is, who killed that baby that drowned into the water? So what we need to do is to stay calm, ensure safety first. Listen with empathy, don't argue. If remove any dangerous object if the person is suicide or violent. So if it's the house, I think if you can lock the kitchen first, because that is where you can see knife, that's where you can see fake. You remove everything that can cause harm or the person can use to contact. Then you can contact a professional. Call the professional. Please don't say somebody is mad here o. Please, we need your help. One of my friend, oh, one of my dear, one of my darling, one of my sweetheart. When they hear those words, they actually calm them down. No, come wahala don happen here o. Hey, you are already creating another problem. So the professional will come in and understand what happened. So we can spot mental health emergency. Could be sudden withdrawal or isolation. Could be extreme mood changes or confusion. Someone will be talking, he will be telling you, please, can I talk with you 1 minute? He will use 10 minutes. He be repeating matter, he will bringing it back. He will even say the one that pay me most. He has said it before. He will say repeat it, the one that pay me most is this. And when you say, okay, you have told me this one before, you say, hey, I don't know, I'm sorry. There's other one I want to tell you. When you notice all those excesses, there is a mental health challenge. When they talk of hopelessness, moku, there's a statement you will see in somebody's status. You need to reach out to the person. I am done. I am finished. I am gone. My life is over. There's no hope. So you take note of that. Aggression, paranoia, or loss of touch with reality. They'll be telling you something that does not read. They may be seeing things. So inability to perform their daily tasks. These are the variables that we can quickly see. It could even happen with our children in the home. Can happen with our spouse. Can happen with church members. Can happen with our colleagues. Can happen in our place of work. Can happen in our street. Please, as a layman, you can do some things. Get contact of the professionals. Then they take it up from there. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for bringing this home and talking about it in the practical sense and the things that we need to do. See, it is critical that we all learn to know the signs. That when you see someone who consistently and persistently feels sad, you should know something is wrong. When someone who used to socialize with people start withdrawing from those spaces, you should know something is wrong. When a person is engaging constantly in hopeless talk, when they keep expressing hopelessness in even the most mundane things, you should know that something is wrong. If a person is struggling and unable to sleep, and they are struggling with sleeplessness, something is wrong. Not all nightmares involve witches and wizards. Some of these nightmares are symptoms of mental health crisis. And
Even
it
the
is,
even the spirit and everything, they are also having mental health now.
yeah. While I was trying to do an invitation to this program, I was thinking of making a joke, but then I changed my mind. I said, invite the people you care about, including your enemies, because even your enemies are going through mental health crisis.
Exactly.
Because if they are enjoying mental well-being, they might probably not be your enemies.
Your enemy, they'll be your friend.
So perhaps, getting them to attend might actually help both they and you. So uh, it's important, it's critical that all of us who are here on this call extend this to others. That's why this is being recorded and it's also available on YouTube so that we can share with people and help them to know that help is available, that you and I can be that first point of help who will then make recommendations to them based on the level of trust that they have in us, based on the level of rapport that we share. It is critical that we also learn to practice self-care when it comes to our mental health. it's been found that many people are engaged in doom scrolling, where we just keep going from one bad news to the other online. We are always the first set of people to know all the angles of a disaster that has happened. We know this side of the story, we know the other side of the story, and when as we are switching from one channel to another, we just continue to engage in absorbing this sort of negative news. Sometimes it is good to take a break from these things. It is good to just look after your mental well-being by choosing not to know some of the bad things that are happening. All right. Uh, Staying connected with family and friends is also critical, because it is the people that we are in connection with that we will be able to help, and they are also the people that will be able to help us. There was a statistic I stumbled on and it almost made me cry. It's an advert that is being promoted online by papayatalks.com, and they said that as of this year, 13 to 17-year-olds are the loneliest group in the society. 13 to 17-year-olds are the loneliest group in society. They said 1 in 5 teens report feeling lonely, with significant impact on their health, their education, and their well-being. Most young people never tell anyone they are lonely. Some cannot even identify what they're experiencing as loneliness, but it is happening to them. And guess what? In the last decade, just last 10 years, there has been a 73% decrease in outdoor play accidents among under 16s. I don't know how many of us can relate with this. If you check both legs that I have today, that God has blessed me with, there are many scars on both legs. You know how I got those scars? From street football, from hanging out with my friends, where once somebody bounces a ball, it's called health size. We have size 4, size 5. When they bounce that ball near your window, you know where to go. You know how to make an excuse to leave the house so you can mix with your friends and play. And in the course of that play, we sustained several injuries. Now, the NHS here in the UK, based on the admissions data, they found out that over the last 10 years, there has been a 73% decrease in outdoor play accidents among under 16s, and a corresponding 93% increase in self-harm among this age group. People who are not yet 16 years old are already hurting themselves because of the harmful effects of loneliness. If you have a young person in your life and you think they are living their best life, you may need to think again. Reach out to them. Don't think you are too old to be playing with them. Engage them. Make them feel seen. Connect with them. These things are critical if we want to spot mental health crisis or even prevent the crisis from happening. Crisis prevention is better than crisis management, but we're already living in a world where there is already crisis in the area of mental health. So it is important that we get involved in the lives of these young ones, not just the young ones, everyone in our lives, so that we can begin to help one another. We can begin to affect one another positively. We can be intentional about you know connecting with one another, rather than everybody just getting busy with life and doing so much when the people you are doing it for are not even enjoying the kind of mental well-being that will enable them to have access to some of these things that you are trying to provide for them. So what we can do is that we can start conversations that will provide catharsis. Okay, Firebase Fridays is basically designed to do that. It's a program we hold Fridays like this, as many Fridays as we have opportunity to hold them, because sometimes life happens and we're unable to hold, Firebase Fridays. But if you check this link every Friday at 9 p.m., chances are that you will stumble on a conversation around mental health where people talk about how they feel, and we can then encourage one another to be better and learn more about, what we can do to improve our mental health. It is important that we go from here to begin to create spaces in our schools, in our churches, so that we can start feeling better and getting better in our minds. A person who is enjoying mental well-being will be able to understand some of the spiritual concepts that we are trying to teach in our churches, some of the mathematical, concepts that we are trying to teach in our schools. So it is important that if you are in the educational sector, you are in the religious sector, push this idea so that mental health can be addressed in these spaces, especially for countries where religion takes center stage, where education takes center stage, right? Online, Firebase tries our best to sort of provide this safe space where people can actually get the help that they need before it is too late. It is important that we also share resources that can help. Sometimes we are quick to share news of a disaster happening somewhere. It's also important that we share links to resources that can actually help people to learn, be educated around mental health. That's what the World Mental Health Day is actually designed to achieve. We need to take these to NYSC camps, those who are close to those kinds of activities and those kinds of environments, that we push for various organizations, even in our workplaces, to have desks where people can access mental health resources, where people can feel safe and talk about whatever they may be going through, whether in their personal life or professional life, without being judged, knowing that if they do not come out of that space with anything, they will come out of the relief that comes from the fact that they have been able to pour out their mind and talk about what is bugging them. We must all band together to fight the stigma against mental health and to spread awareness on the significant role that mental health plays in our lives. As we begin to wind down tonight, I want to ask a question from Mr. Kumasi. And my question is around prevention. It's around prevention. And I'm just thinking, what practical ways can we avoid or prevent mental health catastrophes and emergencies from happening, in addition to some of these things that I've just highlighted? What other things do you think everyday people can do to make sure that we do not wait until there is a crisis before we are able to respond?
All right. Let me say the the church leaders, the educational stakeholders should be taught, should be tutored. There should be workshop, so that, because professional will not always be available everywhere, but with the awareness, it will make it easier for them to spot early and make a necessary report. So there's need to promote regular mental health checkup, encourage open conversation about mental health in families, in schools and workplaces. We need to build strong support system. Yeah. strong support system in the sense people can develop coping skill, prayer, exercise, rest, and mindfulness, especially mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very powerful tool. From July to September ending, I have used mindfulness exercise to help 5 people. And honestly, when they were done, say, oh, how I wish I've been doing this before. I say, because you are not in that situation. So even if you do it, you will not know the meaning. So mindfulness exercise is very, very important to prevent mental health catastrophe. Then we need to train the leaders, I said earlier, the teachers, the ministers in churches, to encourage them and advocate for government and NGO to support psychosocial services, because this is a neglected area. In
Mm,
short, I was in Ijebu Oasis in Ogun State, and I wanted to see one of my clients who is a student in a school, and I said I would like to see the counselor of the school, and they said they do not have counselor.
mm,
Wow! In the whole secondary school where they have more than 1,000 students. Hi, that is terrible. So when you see teachers holding cane, cane can even cause mental health for some people. Holding big cane, I will flog you that. To me, the teachers, the principals, the private school owner, proprietors, proprietaries, they should be workshop, which I hope one will happen very soon. Uh, Marriages should be encouraged because the mental health is home based sometimes. Home based. When you see a man driving a car in about 7 miles with one gear, you should know that something is wrong. If it's a manual, you just put it in gear one, just dey go like that. If it's automatic, you be changing by itself. The thing will be crying. You say, Baba, leave the road now. You say, your father, your Baba, you cursing them. So we need to, the church, the school, the family. My children are aware of what is mental health. They are aware of some basic things. They will even come home. Daddy, I noticed something in my friend today. Maybe he's having mental health. I say, okay, observe. If he persists again, so let me know.
mm.
So because mental health is not something that happen in the morning and you say, I meant this one has mental health. No, it's something that happen consistently. At least they said over 6 weeks, consistently for 6 weeks. You know that something is wrong. Not that somebody can have a issue in the morning and the evening is okay. So that is not mental health. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much, sir, for expanding this and touching on the need for us. We've raised this a while back in one of our sessions that we need to do something to
Yes,
train children to
yes.
spot, mental health issues and to be able to actually even talk about them as they show up. The fact remains that we do a lot of we rely a lot on our community even before we can access professionals, and it is important that each one of us are able to at least recognize the mental health conditions that people may be experiencing, as that will help us to know where to signpost them and show them what needs to be done for them to get better. I have a question in the group and I have a hand raised. That's Dr. Adetunji Ojo. His hand is raised, and I would so much love for him to weigh in on this matter that we are talking about. The question in the chat box, which I want to put out there before Dr. Adetunji Ojo will speak, says, how do we know those that are lonely without them informing us? How do we know those that are lonely without them informing us? Dr. Crown, like I like to call him, You have the floor, sir.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Uh, Good evening, bro. The Kumayon.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
been a blessing hearing you
Thank you, sir.
talk fast tonight. Thank you, the organizers of this program. It's a honor to be here. Now, quickly, because I don't want to take your time, I know that this kind of presentation people pay for it. People pay heavily for this kind of presentation, and I pray that God will pay you.
Amen.
God will pay you for
Amen.
doing. Yeah, this is a very beautiful and good job. Now, just to quickly drop a little addition. Some people, when they want to commit suicide, they make preparation, and oftentimes in African setting, we we are happy with them when they are making preparation, but we don't know that it's their own way of telling us that they are going.
Hmm.
Yes.
They begin to they begin to dash out their material.
Mm.
They begin to give out money,
Yeah.
and
They never know.
everybody will
We'll be hailing them,
celebrate.
calling them Afonema Wobe.
And
Mm.
you just hear in few days or few weeks after they have sold all their properties or given them away for cheap, you just hear that they are dead, and nobody cares about asking questions what killed them. Now, how do we know those who are? How do we identify somebody who is lonely? That's a very beautiful question. And the first thing is that I want us to know is that you can be lonely among the crowd.
Yes.
You can be lonely among the crowd. The fact that people are around you does not mean that you are not lonely.
Yeah.
Loneliness is mental.
Mental, yes.
When you don't have somebody that shares the same ideology as you, that resonate at the same frequency as you are lonely.
Mm.
Because the next thing that will tend to happen if you continue to speak the language they don't understand is aggression.
Yes.
And once aggression comes up, people will turn defensive. If being defensive will make the matter worse, you begin to see everyone as your enemy, and that will worsen the situation, pile up pressure, frustration, and make you to think less of yourself, think less about life, and consider options that human beings are not supposed to consider. So when Bro Kumayon has really done a lot of justice on the pathogenesis, the root cause, and the mechanism of depression and other common problems. Somebody seems strange, and I like the fact that I'm using the word strange. Strange, the person can be more withdrawn than before. The
Mm.
person might have reduced energy than before. Somebody who used to be lively is being as if he's sick. What happened to you? The person can have an increased energy. And this is the area that we don't usually talk about.
Yeah.
Because
Activity. Mm.
because depression and mania, they can coexist only between the South Pole and the North Pole. So the one who is at the North Pole will be having increased energy, will be jumping around, doing all sorts of things, whereas his life is almost gone. If somebody who does not have such energy before begin to exhibit such energy, you need to ask questions. Is it that this person has started abusing substances,
Yeah.
or this person has hit a jackpot, of which you will
Mm,
know. If he hit a jackpot, you will know. Or
mm.
this person is incubating mental so all these things, when we notice somebody as being strange, we should ask questions in a loving, caring, and concerning manner, in such a way that they will tell us and they will be ready to open up with us without having to judge them in any way. Even by just listening to them talk, the scientists say that 50% of their problems have been solved. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you for all the knowledge you have dished out to us tonight. God bless you. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much for uh, giving us that incisive comment on how we can help people or even ourselves when we are facing any mental health challenge. Uh, Mr. Kumasi, do you want to say a thing or two on as part of your closing remarks for tonight on the issue of how do you spot a person who is lonely without them saying anything to you?
All right. As a psychologist, it's not hard to know who is going through certain things, but sometimes we are tempted to ignore because of prayer. But let me bring it down to people who are not psychologists. Uh, the doctor has mentioned some things. To be factual, our spouse could be lonely, and if they change response, the way they respond to us, backing at us, small question, they raise issues, they accelerate their voice, so you can begin to spot. In short, that is the beginning of wisdom. Our children can become a victim of it. You can spot it. They may want to stay inside the room alone. They just want to be there. They don't want to talk to people. When if you are a Christian family and you say let's have devotion, you read a passage, you ask them. That's why we need to be engaging. So for fathers who are traditionalists in the way of doing things, that they are the one that will sing, they are the one that will read the Bible, they are the one that will teach the Bible, they are the one that will do the closing prayer. You are causing more mental health issue for your family members. So please, I want to encourage. And husband and wife, please stay together and make sure that you give in to the inner room. Is very, very important. So it boosts our all the dopamine, dopamine, all the fin in the body, all the chromosomes.
Uh,
Yes, it's a pain relief, it's a sleeping dose. So please let us allow it to happen so that it can also help our spouse to have a mental stability and be able to spot. Because if you are having problem, you won't be able to spot somebody with all these symptoms. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for uh, always being there and helping as many people as possible to enjoy better well-being across all spheres of their lives. I want to thank everyone as well who has made out time to be here tonight, especially those who were here from the start and those who joined us when they could. We appreciate you all. Today is World Mental Health Day. It's wrapping up already, depending on which part of the world you're in. And the theme for this year's edition of the World Mental Health Day is access to services, mental health in catastrophes and emergencies. And we have talked about services that are available uh, locally and globally. We have talked about how each one of us can provide mental health first aid in our subsequent editions of our Firebase Friday events. We will be delving more and more into this whole concept of mental health first aid to equip everyone on how they can actually help a person in crisis, a person who is experiencing a mental health catastrophe, uh, to first save that person from that, or emergency, and then follow it up by helping them to access services that are available to help them get better. We basically shared our thoughts on the preventive strategies that we can put in place to ensure that we do not get to the point where there is a crisis, and help one another within the family unit, within communities, in our religious centers, in our academic organizations, and the likes, to get the kind of support that we need prior to the time that a situation devolves to the point that a person is thinking of dying by suicide or harming themselves or just giving up on life. To the point where a person, before a person gets to the point where they experience psychosis, we can step in and be that stopgap that prevents the situation from growing worse and then turns things around so that this person can enjoy wellness as a human being who has a right to life, who has a right to connection with other people and to contribution to their society based on the abilities, the gifts, and the potential that has been deposited in them. I would like to end tonight with an interesting definition of mental health by the World Health Organization in 2014. It defined mental health as a state of well being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. I hope that every one of us will go on from here to be able to fulfill all of these things that are listed here, that we are able to realize our potential, that we are able to cope with the normal stresses of life, that we are able to work productively and fruitfully, and that we are able to make contribution within our community. Thank you so very much for joining. This program has been brought to you by Firebase Group. You can find out more about us on www.firebase.com. If you need to, you know, learn more, you want to know more about what we do, you can also reach out to any one of us. You can reach out to Mr. Kumasi, you can reach out to me, or you can just access the website, and then from the website you may be able to gain access into the WhatsApp community we have, where we continue to share resources that can help anyone learn about mental health and also deal with whatever mental health crisis they may be experiencing. My hope is that we will get to a point in this world where people will be able to normalize mental health as part of life, and people will be able to get the help that they need if and when they experience mental ill health. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's do this again next Friday by 9 p.m. West African time.